Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who review. Today I am going to review a something very special because something interesting I guess. Because I've been trying to experiment with the Doctor Who medium. I've watched the show, which was obviously the show from 2005 till 2023 I guess. And I've read one book which is really interesting, Revelation of the Daleks. So there we go, about the sixth Doctor. But today I actually listened to something very interesting. It is the Sirens of Time is a 1999 audio drama based on the long-running British science fiction television series Doctor Who. It was the first Big Finish Productions audio drama based on the series and became the first in the company's main range. So I believe the main range is like their, I guess, little adventures each Doctor has, like the adventures that they have in this Big Finish Productions audio dramas. So there we go. So, alright, very cool. So, alright, so this audio drama, I believe, was around like they were like let's see, like I think that was like 2 hours long. I don't know. It's on Spotify, which is really cool. Most of the audio dramas about the Doctor are on Spotify. You can literally just listen to it, which is really cool. And I literally came across it by accident. I was looking for like Doctor Who theme songs or something, and suddenly I saw this like Doctor Who audio drama. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I clicked on the icon and I saw the other audio dramas, which is really cool. And one of them being the Sixth Doctor. What was it? Um, Toymaker story, which didn't release in the series but did on Big Finish, which is really cool. I'm going to listen to that next because it's really cool. The Sixth Doctor has many adventures. Same goes for the Eighth Doctor, or the Seventh Doctor, or the Fifth one. So these, I guess, adventures didn't release for the series, but do release for the audio dramas, which is really cool. So right, part one. Vansel, a member of the Celestial Intervention Agency, arrives on Gallifrey with an urgent message for the President of the Time Lords. So I believe that's Rassilon or something. I'm not quite sure. An invasion fleet threatens the planet, and Time Lord technology will not be able to repel them. History has somehow been and the only clue is the Artron energy of the Time Lord in the distortion, which belongs to the Doctor, obviously. So we have the seventh Doctor hears the cloister bell tolling within the TARDIS and changes the coordinate setting. A message comes through from the Time Lords, but it's too garbled for the Doctor to make out its content. He then hears a mysterious sound coming from inside the TARDIS and exits to investigate. He hears a woman, Elena, drowning in quicksand and rushes to her rescue. He is waylaid by a cackling hag who says both he and Elena will die. So this guy is more like, I'm not quite sure, his voice was kind of like a jester, was like a mix between a jester from medieval times and like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like his voice was very, hee hee hee, something like that, It's weird to explain, but his voice was really annoying me for some reason, I don't know. So, arriving at the quicksand, the Doctor wonders why the hag had not tried to save Elena and takes her back to the TARDIS. The hag briefly returns to the tent to a crippled old man named Sancroft. Sancroft is a prisoner of a communicator. He reports to a commandant who questions her over Eon trails he has detected in her sector, but she denies knowledge of them. So, I believe she actually imprisons a crippled man, which is really sad because that man has a really soft voice. He's like, I don't know, um, obviously the other dramas are all about like sounds and stuff like that and the voices. And this man was really just very nice. And yeah, it's kind of ass to see him being imprisoned. Arena says that she crash landed on the planet. They set out to search for the Hag's resistance as another spacecraft crash lands nearby. Hearing the crash, Suncraft asks ruefully if the planet's shields are failing, but she then taunts him to no one is coming to his rescue. So, very sad, like I said. The Doctor and Elena see a ship that somehow makes it through the shields. Ripley is heard communicating with an alien ship on voice on the ship, which informs her to bioassistance scourgers will activate on landing. So that's very bad. Doctor and Elena desperately dive for cover as a fire ship makes a landing nearby. They arrive at its crash site as something alive emerges. Elena thinks she is looking at a dying creature, but Doctor believes the opposite. It is something being born. So that's interesting. So it's a lot for like this part one. I'm going to shorten it, try to make something out of it. So obviously, I guess like the Doctor and Alania go to the house where Sancroft lives, and that I guess bad guy that just went away just for something, I don't know quite sure, and the Doctor hides there. So there we go. So these bio assassins are like first knight of Alicia is there for ready them to kill. Okay, is there for yeah. Okay, so these things just spawn on the planet, or I guess fly on the planet, right? And they try to kill everyone who stands against them. So Sancroft has been sentenced to death for a war crimes against the people of Calvadoria. When the Doctor pleads with the assassin to spare their life, it tells him that he has no quarrel with anyone but Sancroft. However, there must be no witnesses, and the assassins open fire on Sancroft, which is kind of very sad. So, part 2, very fun. A submarine prepares to attack a British fighter at the TARDIS materializes on board. The fifth Doctor, played by Pete Davidson, disembarks searching for some sort of distortion. He hears the voice of the Time Lord calling to him to return to the TARDIS because of the destruction of time. However, he is unable to get back inside his craft. A woman arrives and tells him that she will take him to her captain just as the submarine starts its attack. And this woman speaks Scottish, so...
Barmy or something! Even if you could get back in your crate, that won't save you.
I assure you, you've no idea, young
Hey,
lady.
total win for me, man. Right. They spot 2 survivors cling to a box floating in the debris of the remains of the ship. So this woman, Helen, are brought on board and thrown in the cell. Class emerges as a British destroyer. Yeah. So the Doctor demands to see Captain Schweiger, which they're on, I guess, a warship submarine, which has been taken over by the Germans. Doctor pretends to be a German spy, telling him that proof of his identity is an airtight crate now floating in the sea. Okay, so there we go. One of the crew, Schmidt, begins to attack the Doctor, and the voice of Time Lord is heard urging on the attack. Gallifrey Vansel is reprimanded for his British plan by the President. However, Vansel insists that the Doctor must be stopped, whatever the cost, so obviously. Okay, so back on the submarine, the Doctor proceeds to give the order to Smith to kill, who then shoots, which, yeah, something, I don't know. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. I can't really talk about everything, which, in part 3, let's just recap everything, man. In part 3, you get introduced to the 6th Doctor and the legendary time beast, the Temporon, and the Kurgan system. He pleads with the President for more power, but the President announces that the transduction barriers have been breached and the aliens have landed on Gallifrey. They call themselves the Knights of Alicia. There we go. And have demanded an unconditional surrender. The 6th Doctor finds himself at some kind of conference on a spaceship where the waitress seems very familiar to him. The ship Edifice is investigating a spatial anomaly known as the Kurgan Wonder. However, a particle field quickly surrounds the ship. The Doctor identifies it as a shard of time distortion. He hears voice saying "help me," but is unable to identify the source. With inspection of the Doctor, a waitress named Ellie and an android pilot, everyone on board aged to death by the disruption, which is kind of weird. Okay, so the 6th Doctor tries to see what causes it as evolution of bacteria and viruses. So there we go. Ellie reveals that she is part of an organization dedicated to freeing a being they believe is trapped in the Kurgan Wonder. The Doctor deduces from the presence of temporal particles that the Wonder is in fact the legendary temporal trapped at the moment of its death. Okay, let's see. What else can I say? As the Doctor is smothered by the temporal, it issues a final warning: beware the Sirens of time. So, okay, the temporal absorbs the Doctor itself and continues its warning about the Sirens of time. Okay, so they still have a bit of like drama on Gallifrey, so let's just skip that for a bit. Alright, so... yes, okay. This is where the fun begins. So, alright, there must be... One of the Knights of Valicia welcomes Knight Commander Lena to Gallifrey, so they took over Gallifrey for some reason. In the name of Sancroft, they detect Time Lord life signs and force the Doctors to flee. So there are 2 of them, which is, obviously, the 6th and the 7th Doctor are right on Gallifrey there. So, very cool. And I believe, yes, okay. The 5th Doctor's actions prevented the sinking of the submarine. Although the outcome of the First World War was not greatly affected, a common criminal on board who should have died went on murder Alexander Fleming, which is like a person in history. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Penicillin was never discovered, and in 1956, a plague devastated year, this is in turn prevented the future from defeating the Knights of Felicia in battle. When the Sixth Doctor freed the temporal destruction, allowed the Knights to gain the powers of time travel. Okay, so the Fifth, the Sixth, and the Seventh Doctor are both, like, all of them are on Gallifrey. They spawned there for some reason. I don't know. So, yeah. Okay, they eventually need to stop these Knights. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, yeah. The Doctors arrive at the Nexus points where the Seventh Doctor met Elenia for the first time, but ignore her cries for help. So, like I said, it's just in part 1 where the Seventh Doctor helped out the girl. But now he can't help out the girl because that girl is part of the plan about the Knights. So there we go. Time travel stuff, complicated. As if, okay, they see the hack truthfully, but they tell her they were never there. The Doctors stand apart, each to try to find their own TARDISes. So a lot of information, a lot of, I guess, story. But obviously it's like 2 hours, man. Every part is like 3 minutes. And yeah. I mean, sometimes you get some information about the Time Lord, sometimes you get stuck, ended by a sentence, and the next part is like advertisement, and then the next part after that is just back on the part you were before. Anyway, obviously I don't have Spotify Premium, so that's probably why. But a lot of information, a lot of different things happening here, but the main essential things are 3 doctors trying to help out some kind of thing, or knights who want to take over Gallifrey, and each doctor begins with an opening, I guess. So, oh yeah, okay, so the doctor is there, oh, it's cool, he's helping out people. Oh wait, boom, he's on Gallifrey helping out other doctors. So, together, or well, all 3 of them have a, I guess, the same, wait, okay, so this is one, and this one. They come together, right? So, it makes sense. Epic Doctor Who story. So, like I said, these audio dramas are on Spotify if you want to listen to it. Although, there are some of those who you can actually buy, which, there we go, on, like, Amazon. It's Big Finish Audio Productions, right? There are a lot of different things, like Torchwood has one, Sarah Jane has one, Class probably has one, a lot of different Doctor Who stuff. And maybe, like, you might know the audio dramas because of the 8th Doctor, because his adventures, he only got 1 movie and like 1 special, like, which was the Night of the Doctor, I believe. My guy has a lot of adventures on there, so if you want to know more about the 8th Doctor, I would start with like the movie and then go on to the audio productions, because Paul McGann is an underrated Doctor, to be honest, and I really love his TARDIS. So I might listen to a few of those eventually about him. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you later. Goodbye, everyone.
Charming woman. Treacherous, unhygienic, and probably very stupid.
Yes, the universe can be an unpleasant place sometimes, can't it, Doctor?
Do I detect a note of criticism, Doctor? Are you saying that if you'd had the gun in your hand, you wouldn't have done the same thing?
I don't know. I suppose no one ever does know until they're faced with a decision and the power to make a difference.
You know, talking to yourself is often thought to be the first sign of madness.
Yes. But a little madness helps, don't you think?
Come on. If we can find my TARDIS, I'm sure I can open an interface back to our relative time streams.
Very kind of you, Doctor.
Much appreciated.
Don't mention it, Doctor.